Here we are. Glorious. Behold, another YouTube stream. Actually exactly on time. Oh, I missed it by a minute. You'll have to forgive me for my incompetence. Uselessness. Ugh. Terrible content creator. I'm so off schedule. Look at this. Weak, uncoordinated content creator. Disgusting. I am offended. So welcome. We're not really doing anything particular today. I feel sort of this like breakout, you know, like not really anything particular kind of mood. So we're just gonna hang out and play a horde shooter, which we normally call Warframe, but today it's a horde shooter. I do not see it up yet. I don't see it. Where is it, YouTube? Show me. Wow, that's weird. I've never seen that happen before. I wonder if this will get into a stream archive. Oh no, the Salmon. All right, there's someone in chat. Okay, there we go. It's there. Salmon, what's up? Hi. I was scared for a sec. I was looking at it on my other account and I was like, "Where's the stream?" It says I'm streaming, but it said it was offline, even though you could click on the link to the stream for like over 2 minutes, like a really long time. That was strange. All right, let's tweet out the alert. Live on YouTube with some horde shooter.exe. Come watch a thing. Boop. Heyo, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome one and all to this week's episode of Xandy doesn't have any particular topic for this stream. We have stuff to do, mind you. There's not a there's never really a lack of stuff for us to do. It's much more a matter of like, I don't know, having a message with each stream. I guess maybe I overemphasize that, you know. While we have a quiet moment, Fireflame, hello, welcome. While we have a quiet moment, let me quickly address something that I talked about in a video that I recorded for later today. So I'm gonna stop streaming in like 2-ish hours-ish. And then I did make a video, but it's basically like a news kind of video. It's like, it's more news, more newsy. Just talking about like what's going on for the next couple months. And it should be interesting if you are interested in YouTube macro stuff. YouTube macro planning, content creator things. I want this physique for a sec. While we get started. So that video is coming up like probably right after I stream. It's already scheduled, so you'll see that right after we're done streaming. I don't want to drown it with the stream, so and then this will be a stream archive tomorrow, just a day later to give that room. But I wanted to quickly explain like what the sponsor button on YouTube means. And when I say quickly, I don't mean most people say quickly and they talk about it for like 5 minutes. It's basically the same as subscribing on Twitch. So you'll get an emote that Salmon here made actually. You'll get an emote to use in chat on YouTube streams. You will get some small other perks that are kind of customizable, and I'll customize them to be cool. I'm still working on that. But the main thing that you'll get, the main thing I offer as part of my sponsor thing, is starting next month you will get $1 Patreon rewards. So it's like being a patron as well, and then you get the chat rewards. So that's what you get. That's what it is. Basically, you pay a certain amount of money every month, and it supports me. And it does support me. I get a bit more than half the money. So it is a decent way to support me monetarily that also gives you like some other perks. That's all it is. Don't feel like you have to do it if you don't want to. I just wanted to say what it was. YouTube kind of added it and like didn't even tell people, not even creators, that we had it. And I was like, oh, I have that now? And someone was like, yeah, I can sponsor you. And I'm like, since when? What in the world, really? So that's neato. But yeah, so it's cool. It says, hello, welcome. Where are the Easter Bunny ears? No, man, it's not time yet. Or is it? I don't know. Isn't it Sunday? I don't know anything about Easter. Isn't Easter April Fool's this year? That's what I thought. I don't have a Sentinel. Okay. So folks, just to get started, this was an alert for Physique, which is an aura mod that is really, really bad, but it is an aura mod. And I wanted to, I need a copy of it for something, so I figured I would just get it while we're getting started. And also, I kind of like this style. This was like one of the earliest styles I played. I have like a very early memory of the style on Venus, and I like it. It's kind of annoying, but I enjoy it. I think this thing is cool. I like this thing quite a bit. Quite a big fan of this little side tram. I wish we had more of these. I really want like a format or a map or, you know, some situation where you're like on a moving tile, like you're like strafing through the environment. I think that would be cool. That would be neato. Hawk, welcome. Avos Kello. What's good, my dude? Fireflame, I do not have a PS4. I haven't owned a console in a long time. I think the last console I owned was a GameCube. Ah, man, is that the last console I owned? I think the last console I owned was a GameCube. That was a long time ago though, wasn't it? So yeah, I haven't had a console in a while. Ooh, I didn't know that. So you know how if you look directly down, you bullet jump up? I didn't know that worked on dash wires. That's cool. That's helpful, actually. I like that. That's really nice. One problem I've always had with dash wires in this game is there isn't really a good way to disengage them. So I thought, but I think that's pretty good. Because usually, like when you want to get off, you want to go down, or like you at least want to see what's down. But it can be a bit awkward. Physique is pretty bad though. It says we're talking about Physique, right? It's so, even on Inaros, like, it gives you 99 health on Inaros, and if you have a Vitality, you have like 4,800 health or something, so even on Inaros, it only gives you like a point, you know, 8 or whatever, a tiny percent increase to health. It's so bad, like, it does essentially nothing. No matter how you use it, it does basically nothing. So I don't know. I just wish that I don't understand why it's so weak. I wish they would make it better. And I don't think it'd be hard to make it better. Just make it a bigger bonus. I don't think having an aura that gives you, you know, what would it need to be, like 90% or 60%. That would be kind of weak, but usable. I don't think that would be that strong, but it would be fun, you know? I don't know. I think auras in general need a rework. I think we've talked about that. We could talk about that. If not for the Ambulance Reborn event, I'd love that tile, but I'm bored of it because of the event. I think that might be part of why, Zez, because I was gone during that event for almost all of it, so I didn't experience it. Maybe that didn't wear out the style for me. Peacemate, I didn't just come from the shower. My hair changes a lot because of the way that I maintain it, and I don't use product in my hair, so sometimes it just doesn't go up like at random, and so I decided to push it back. So why is it you need this aura again? To talk about how bad it is, basically. I want like unranked and ranked copies of them for a reason that is kind of dumb, but I want it, and also to kind of make a point that, like, one thing that is currently sort of like propping auras up is that they give you more mod capacity. So when you're a new player and there's an aura alert, it doesn't really matter what the aura actually does, and a lot of them do almost nothing, because you want the capacity points. And I think that is currently holding them up, and I just, like, I don't know why they won't just change that system. Just make them do better stuff. I don't know. Like, none of them do anything cool. Not none of them, but just very few of them. And a lot of the more interesting ones are pretty hard to get, or not good. I'll show you a couple of good examples when we get out of this. We can talk about auras for a little bit. But someone said, Team Luhan Gamer says, hey Xandy, if you haven't done them, why don't you solo all 3 sorties? That's not a bad idea. Let's see what they are. Something needs a rework, since it shouldn't be considered almost mandatory to run Energy Siphon or Corrosive Projection. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and even the thing is though, like even energy siphon and corrosive projection are both also pretty bad. Like even corrosive projection, unless you're in a coordinated group, is usually not very good because you can't count on 4, and since you can't count on 4, you need to deal with armor anyway. And if you're dealing with armor anyway, then it hardly does anything. The corrosive projection hardly does anything. If you have 4, corrosive projection is really good, but if you don't have 4, it does almost nothing. Because you need to be using ways to counter armor anyway in missions where you need to counter armor at all. And if you need to be countering armor anyway, then your weapon will be doing the whole job, and adding corrosive projection doesn't really gain you anything. Again, I've been meaning to make a video about that for a long time, but corrosive projection is actually really bad if you're not in a coordinated squad. It usually doesn't do anything. It just seems like it does. Like, we have a culture that has suggested that it's this mandatory thing, but it actually doesn't really do anything. And then energy siphon, it's like, yeah, but we also have like energizing dash, you know. Energy siphon is probably like the best overall aura, I would say, especially for public. Like if you don't know like what you're doing or who you're gonna play with, which is most of the time, it definitely energy siphon like by worlds, like miles. But in general, I kind of feel like they're just all not that good. And even the ones that are, like, there are a few that are good in, like, one situation, but, you know. Anyway, I'm actually kind of interested in this topic because I think it's a rather... Hey, that's a weird mod to get. A rather untapped part of the game. I think there could be really cool auras that would have, like, a really interesting effect, but they don't exist. And I wish they would, because they're actually a pretty core part of, like, making a build. They at least look like they are, but they don't do anything. Swedish PS4 Gamer, hello. Spy Sortie, Vor Assassinate, Galleon Sabotage. That sounds fine. Trev Soda, hello. Charles, hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Since December, I haven't seen an alert for Energy Siphon. Oh my god. That's a long time. I kind of agree. I haven't seen an alert in a long time. Why would you need health regen if there's already Life Strike? Has anybody mentioned the health regen one? Peacemate Physique is not the health regen one. I think you might be mistaking it with, Rejuvenation. Rejuvenation, I think, is actually one of the... Like, it's not really that good, but I do think it's one of the underrated ones. Having static health regen that is not, like, a tiny amount is helpful. It's just not... It's not great. It's still not changing much. Growing power is usually useful. That's true. But the benefit is still pretty small. Not great, but... And the other thing is growing power is hard to get. Growing power is one of the ones that's kind of hard to get. Yeah, Siphon is weak on some frames like Xcal. Growing power is good on frames like Xcal. But that's another example. Like, corrosive projection is awful on Xcal most of the time because you just have corrosive on your Exalted Blade. So, again, unless you're in a coordinated squad and you can count on having all of them, then you still have to strip armor, and then it doesn't really do much. Have you fought all the Eidolons? Yeah, Fireflame, I have. We might do a round of them tonight, but I'm on a pretty tight schedule today. I have, like, in the area of 2 hours to stream, and then I've got to go because I have other commitments, but I'm glad to be here for the time I have. Again, we're mostly just hanging out, like, talking about stuff, general game stuff, while I get this physique copy for reasons. And then we will go do something interesting. I even forgot a vacuum. Monthly universal vacuum rent incoming? No, not. I don't see a need for that. I think we might get univac pretty soon. Like, I think if we're gonna get univac, I think it might be pretty soon. The aura I most use, considering Xeneric, is actually enemy sensor. Yeah, I agree. No, like Palabragris, not even just eye problems. I think it's legitimately useful. Loot detector is useful. I don't know. It's a looter shooter. Like, knowing where the enemies full of loot are, and knowing where the loot from the enemies that are full of loot is helpful. That's good. I don't think it's bad. Salmon, we might do a Prodman run. I might save that for Thursday. I'm going away this weekend. I'll miss our Saturday stream, but I'll have content ready and everything. I should only miss the Saturday stream. It should be pretty much normal otherwise. Boop. 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 Fireflame, I feel like lots of people fight the Eidolons. I think maybe it's just on stream, or maybe it's off stream, and that's part of the problem. But I haven't seen a lack of people killing Eidolons. I don't know. Avosk, I don't necessarily disagree that DE's stance on UNIVAC has not changed. But I do see different design philosophies. We've been seeing some different design philosophies creeping in. And I think that is... I think it's not so much that the people that didn't think UNIVAC was a thing they were going to do have changed their minds. I think it's that there's other people that do think it's a good idea. I don't have any proof of that. That's just my sense from like the types of updates we've been getting lately. I think they have brought on new... Well, I know they've brought on some new staff. And I think that there's just additional people who disagree with not having UNIVAC. So, yeah. And I think they said they were reconsidering UNIVAC, yeah. There's been a lot of moments where there was something they decided they weren't going to do, and then they went back on it recently to good effect. Like Ashe changes are a good example. They did not implement Ashe a certain way, and then suddenly they just did, even though they had already done a rework relatively recently where they did not do exactly what they did this time. Even though you'd think it would be like easier to implement, I don't know. So that makes me think maybe there's some different philosophies going on among quite a few other things. Anyway, thoughts. I wonder what this squad thinks of Frost that isn't bubbling. Yeah, I'm sure they don't think too many good things, but we don't need it. This is like a level 8 mission. They couldn't kill this stuff if we A Fireflame, they're really not that hard, the Eidolons. If we can do it on stream, I'd be happy to show you and do it with you. They're really not that bad. They're not like super easy. I think they're a good difficulty for the state this game is in right now. But they're not hard. They're definitely not too hard. I wish they were a lot more difficult. But it is better than nothing, what we've got. Fireflame, if you don't mind me sort of interviewing you, I'm curious what difficulties you have so that I can better understand what players who find them difficult have trouble with. Maybe I can make a better help for those people if I understand that better. Def Cupcake, hi. No, it's cool. Thank you for stopping by. I love it. Yeah, so let's talk. I do want to talk briefly about rejuvenation because I think it's kind of interesting. Let me just wiggle on in here. Hi, Agukus, what's up? Let's find rejuvenation. Rejuvenation. Velius, Mag's passive added to all frames and a new passive on Mag. I would say if they were going to do that, I feel like that's just being difficult. Like they would just add UNIVAC if they were going to do that, I think. And also Scott added the mini UNIVAC, maybe a test, yeah. Gukas, my my hair wasn't behaving today. It was like falling flat instead of going up, so I decided to just push it back with water. But it's not actually any different. I think if UNIVAC does come, it'll be with the Pet Sentinel rework. Yeah, I agree. I wasn't going to get into that, but that's one of the other things. Like, we know that's coming, that there's a companion rework, like, in the works. Probably for this year. I would think kind of soon. Behold. Apocalypse, thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate the cross-platform support. Yeah, so I do think that there's a lot of good reasons to get that soon. Oh, it's hot. Whew. But who knows? Maybe not. I could totally be wrong. Again, it's not like super based on a lot of stuff. It's just like a thought I had. Let's take a look at some comments. Sumimaru, hello. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty aight. I am having a busy week, but in a good way. Like it's enough. It's not too much. And I'm going to be going away this weekend from Friday to Sunday to see my partner Caitlin, who is in Boston. And I'm super excited. She's taking me on a museum date, and I'm super excited for it. If that sounds boring, then I guess I need to explain our relationship a bit better sometime, but I'm really excited. So that'll be nice. Will be good time. And I have videos made for that period of time already, so you'll still be getting content. But I will miss my Saturday stream. Actually, I do have kind of a cheeky idea for a Saturday stream, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna make any promises. It'll be a surprise if anything. But I have like kind of a janky idea for a stream. I highly doubt it'll actually work, so I'm not gonna guarantee anything. But anyway, do you know anything more about the Apostasy Quest? Release date info? No, actually. I wish I did, but I don't. Incidentally, I don't mind saying that if I did know, I could say I knew, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. If I was under like NDA agreement or something. I do sometimes get news early about stuff, but not as often as you might think. Their DE's development schedule is really fluid, so. But no, I don't, unfortunately. I wish I did. I thought we were gonna get sacrificed like late last year, but that didn't happen. Oh. Oh, Zez, for sure. It's just like in the situation I was in, I think people were just talking about the fact that there was no reason not to bubble. Like there wasn't any reason to not just throw the objective of bubble. I was just being annoying. I'm gonna put this out there. Lephantis needs a rework. Oh, dude, I did it with Joey Zero on stream last night, and it was so bad. I mean, it was kind of our fault, but like, oh man, it was bad. Anyway, let's talk about rejuvenation in a sec, because people are asking about other stuff. So somebody asked about Tiburon Prime and Cronin Prime. We can talk about Tiburon Prime. Tiburon Prime is good. It's relatively flexible. It can do lots of things well. Here's a simple build, not necessarily the best build. I feel that Argon Scope is probably better than Vigilante Armaments for this setup, because you get really nice crit consistency for 100 munitions. This gives you more status consistency, but that's not something you super badly need on this weapon. So I think they're close. So the reason I have it like this is because this is way more than enough damage, and adding Argon Scope would be an extra forma that I don't really feel like there's a need for. But yeah, this is pretty good. This build rewired for corrosive is also pretty good. Adding a little fire rate is not awful. What else have I tried? The semi-auto mode is like, it's not really better enough than burst. Auto is pretty good for spraying. They're all pretty accurate. Auto loses a lot of crit, but has like really, really good status. This weapon doesn't have innately like great status, but it's got rounded damage types, which is nice. It's a good gun. It's fun to use. It's definitely up there with like the top tier, whatever. The burst mode is kind of like a burst fire Soma Prime with a lot more status. So take that as you will. I don't mean that to say it's better or worse, because it's just different, but that. It's good. It's fun. I like it. It makes a nice satisfying sound. It looks fucking cool. So that's a plus. Cronin Prime is pretty average. It's not anything to write home about. If you don't like how it looks, then don't get it, because it's not that good. But it's not bad. I am not done playing with it yet, but this is what I was playing with. It is mostly slash, almost all slash, so you want to go for viral. 12% critical chance might not look exciting, but you should probably still build it for Blood Rush. The last mod for this build, if I could fit it, would be Organ Shatter. It's still worth it. You can still scale it up. You don't underestimate Blood Rush's ability to make any weapon a crit weapon. 12% is enough. It's enough for Berserker consistency. The stances on Tonfas are pretty strong. They're both pretty strong. It's easier to pull off the better combos in Sovereign Outcast, and I think the hitboxes are better. But there are powerful combos in the other Tonfa stance as well, so it's okay if you don't want to farm that. It doesn't come with this polarity. It comes with the one for Gemini Cross. But yeah, it's all right. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not great. There's really nothing special about it. Doing a slam attack does a ragdoll, which is a very small feature. That's not a big thing. So there we go. Gukas, I'm glad you think the hair looks all right. It always feels a little funny when it's not like spiking up, because I look at my head like I'm looking at the screen, and I can barely see my face in my peripheral vision, like here. And I look over and I'm like, who is that guy? Anyway, thought you didn't use product, but you use water, and we all know water is nature's product. Ouch, I just got owned. I need you to tell me how to one-shot an Eidolon because I see a lot of people doing it. Fireflame, you don't need to one-shot it. Just do more damage. Like, no, people aren't one-shotting it all that frequently. Just get anyone with a damage increase ability, so you can use Chroma, you can use Rhino. I think Rhino is the easiest. Now that Chroma's damage scaling is additive and doesn't have that weird elemental thing, I think Rhino's pretty comparable. So, yeah, use Chroma, use Rhino. There are other frames you can use. Maybe get a Riven. You really don't need one. I'd be happy to just quickly kill, like, a normal Eidolon, maybe even solo, just to, like, show you that it's really easy to just, like, pop the limbs open. A really good budget Eidolon killing weapon is the Lanka. Let's look at that really quick. Okay. I will search instead of notoriously failing to find the weapon I'm looking for. Here's a very, very simple Lanka for... This is not the right build. This is the right build. This is super, super simple. Like, literally a lot of these are, like, the most basic mods that you get in the game. Point Strike Vital Sense, Split Chamber Serration, like Hellfire Stormbringer, Speed Trigger, Vigilante Armaments. This is a super basic build, and this will, with a good damage bonus, this will 3-shot all Eidolon limbs. 2.5 shot with a Rhino damage bonus. So if you have Chroma, you might be able to do it in 2 shots. That's totally unnecessary. You don't need to do that. You can very easily kill all 3 Eidolons in a night cycle. If you are the only person doing damage and you have just this as your weapon, you will easily kill all 3 Eidolons in a night cycle. You could pretty easily get 2 sets of 3 with just this. And again, you can do way better than this. Like, this is not the strongest way to kill the limbs necessarily. Neither is Rhino the strongest way, but you can very consistently, very easily get, 3 to 6 of them down in a night like that. And again, we can let's check on the night cycle. I could show that. It wouldn't be very hard to do, so I'd be happy to show it. Sorties timers, Warframe hub timers. It's a day for 47 more minutes. Yeah, we could head out there, sure. When will the Acolytes return? It's usually been 6 months. So they were here at Christmas, so look for them like this summer. Maybe it'll be around the time we get Plains of Venus. Plains of Venus. What kind of music do you like? All sorts of stuff. It's hard to specify. I'm gonna be playing more of my personal music, like my personal taste in music, on Twitch streams from now on. I'm not just gonna limit it, so you will hear more of that. But I listen to like classical and like alt rock and like ska and like a bunch of weird stuff all the time. I listen to, kind of metal-y stuff sometimes. I listen to, like, certain kinds of rap even I can deal with sometimes. All sorts of stuff. Lots of people say that, but then what they really mean is, like, they listen to alternative. Like, I really do mean, like, all sorts of stuff. Some artists I really like, if you want, like, some recommendations, are Apocalyptica. I really like Apocalyptica. Isles and Glaciers. They only have one album, but it's one of my favorite bits of music. Let's see, what else do I like? Paris is an artist I've liked lately. It's spelled Pvris. Apparently because of copyright or something. Like, you can't name yourself after a country as an artist. And so she had to change it, which is kind of funny. Man, I'm just not that consistent with what I listen to. I listen to a lot of electronic music. A lot of dubstep. It's hard to specify, it honestly is. I really like Madeon, that French guy, French boy. Hey Xandy, you just got a Death Machine Rifle Riven. What's an ideal role look like? Great question. Everybody knows I like talking about this. Death Machine Rifle Rivens. Yeah, boy. I'm gonna upgrade mine pretty soon. So let me take mine out. And we'll talk about that really, really quick. It's actually kind of simple, but I don't have like one that is a good demonstration. So, so here, let's zero this out. This is sort of like the build I would recommend in general. If you want to make this weapon good, I recommend this as your starting point. You want Serration, you want Split Chamber. This Split Chamber is not currently applying. Let's put that on there so the damage doesn't look like ass. You cannot put Vigilante Armaments on Death Machine Rifle, which sucks because that would be very, very powerful. Serration, Split Chamber, you want 2 fire rate mods. This weapon has a gigantic magazine and a relatively low base fire rate. It also has a spool up time, and it has a relatively fast reload for its magazine size. So putting 2 fire rate mods on is a very good DPS increase. They don't have ammo anyway, so go ahead. Grab your dual stat mods. I think that this weapon is not good with status. It's got very high fire rate, but because you can't, like, we have 1.9% status here, right? So we have 100 rounds in the magazine. That means we should expect to get 1.9 of those 100 rounds as status. What are the odds that the 1 bullet that procs status, the 2 bullets that proc status in your magazine are going to be on targets you actually want the status on? Like ridiculously low. So just ignore status on this weapon. One of the only weapons that is good with 90% elements. Eagle Eye, this increases target acquisition range on Sentinels. I've said that lots of times. Secret weird mechanic. This increases the range at which Sentinels can attack, which is pretty good. This weapon has a spool up time, so when the Death Machine Rifle is out of its optimal firing range, but Eagle Eye allows it to target the enemy, it'll begin firing, and that'll handle its spool up time, and then once the enemy is in optimal firing range, it'll be at its full fire rate and do lots of damage, which is great. So, based on these mods, what is the best thing to get on a Riven? Well, normally we would want Vigilante Armaments in this last slot. So the first priority is to get multi-shot. This weapon has rather low multi-shot among good builds for weapons. This weapon has less multi-shot than you'd want. So remember, you always want to balance out all the stats that are worth building for. Crit and status are not worth building for. And what we have the least of is multi-shot. So multi-shot is the thing you want first. The best Riven stat for a Death Machine Rifle Riven, in my opinion, is multi-shot. Fire rate would be fine. Replacement for anything is always fine. Fire rate would be fine. Zoom would be fine. Kind of weird, but fine. And elements would be fine. Base damage is also fine. It's always strong. If you have to overcap a stat, it's good for it to be base damage. If you've got to stack up a stat that you already have, base damage is not a bad one to get. My current Riven is this. This is base damage, a ton of base damage. And then Toxin, fine. And then Heat. That heat damage is doing, like, basically nothing. Like, that, it might as well not be there. Because I already have 133 there, and then 90 more, so that's, like, over 200% Toxin, about 300% total corrosive damage. So since my heat isn't adding to any of that, this heat damage only increases my weapon's DPS by, like, in the area of 25%. Not by 117%, but more like 25 to 30%, which is really bad. It might as well not even be there. It barely increases the damage at all. So you don't want 2 elements on this weapon. You don't want 2 elements on most Rivens, but especially not on this weapon, because you already have way too much elemental damage. And then it has terrible critical chance, so that's a fine negative. So I would say in order, multi-shot, and then all tied for second best would be fire rate, zoom, and base damage. Tied for third best would be elemental damage and, like, can you get accuracy? I kind of forget. That'd be fine. Magazine size and reload would not be, like, awful. Magazine size is probably better than reload. So that. I hope that does not just help with that weapon, but just in general is a useful way to think about, like, what is the best thing to get. I hope that's helpful. Let's scroll back down. I missed a lot of comments. I'm catching up. Nathan, hi. What's up? Oh, hey, Gukas, speaking of which, so Gukas says, man, speaking of Lefanis, Nova makes killing the level 100 sortie pretty easy because you can slow down the vulnerable phases. Apparently, let's show this really quick before I forget. Apparently, I found this out last night after we did it. If you have this node unlocked, Temporal Blast, this works on Lephantis, and you can make the vulnerable phases, like, last much longer. I got this pretty much only for, like, purposes like that, but I forgot to use it. And I walk around with that ability all the time, but I just don't have it. Anyway, let me Xandy time, random question. Since your Death Machine Riven has promised lots of Toxin, would armaments be a damage increase over infected clip? Again, you can't put armaments on, but if you could, yes, it would be a huge damage increase. If you could use vigilante armaments on it, it would be like a gigantic DPS increase. It's so bad. Boop. Before Xandy leaves to meet his second girl, his... No, I don't have a hickey on my lip. It's just acne. For goodness sakes. Chat, where do I get Final Harbinger? On the wiki. I still prefer Sybaris Prime over Tiburon Prime. Yeah, I was using it earlier, and I kind of, like... The magazine size doesn't feel as good, but I don't know. Like, it's nice in a certain way. I don't know. Atarax build, sure. I have a whole video on that that's really short, so I highly recommend you just go look at it, but... I believe that this is the best possible Atarax build. I've played with a lot of builds just for the sake of getting it out of the way, and like we don't have to talk about Atarax builds anymore. Like a year ago, I mean, and I'm pretty confident this is the best you can do. Although I do have a very popular video that you may have seen where I pointed out that Relentless Combination is actually a pretty strong substitute for Maiming Strike up through like 3x, 4x combo counter. Like when you get the combo counter high, it starts to get worse. But until then, Relentless Combination is a surprisingly good substitute for Maiming Strike. So if you don't have Maiming Strike, there you go. However, without Weeping Wounds, it's not even remotely a substitute. So there's that. That's a problem. But the amount of slash procs you get going up so much faster means that you catch up to Maiming Strike's additive critical damage chance damage, and the combo counter will be much higher, so Blood Rush kind of like catches you up to Maiming Strike for a little bit, but then jumping combo counter ticks becomes too long and Maiming Strike catches up again. So that. Oh, lots of questions today. Just do more damage. All right. Let me scroll back up. Is Octavia's amp good for buffing Rhino's buff? Octavia's amp is good on its own. I was trying to think of someone who was good for boosting damage while you kill Eidolons, besides the ones I mentioned, and it was Octavia that I was trying to think of. Thank you. Power Strength Octavia is a very big damage increase, yeah. She'll do totally fine. The only problem is you're going to have to stealth to avoid damage, and the Eidolon's big splashy AoE attacks might just, like, kill you. So... What are your thoughts on people saying Vauban Prime is good for Eidolon hunting? I can't really think of any way that would be the case. So, no? Is there something I'm missing? Why? Why do people say that? Why do people say that? I'm interested. No, it's obviously Loki, damn. Mirage Prime makes a damn good Spectre. Now we're talking about the real stuff. Alright, there's that. Any interesting ideas for Mirage Slandonas? We can talk about that. Can look at that. Where are you, Mirage? Mirage Prime. Basically, like, I wanted to double down on the drapey things without getting in the way. I don't think this is, like, super good, and we can play with it a little more. How about... so things that are, like, top half capey things, like, that clips with her butt in a way that I don't love. And so that one's actually alright. Let's walk around with that for a sec. Yeah, that's not bad. So stuff like that, like top half stuff. But you can also just go big. Something you can kind of always do with these frames that have drapey things below is go long to avoid them. Okay, that looks bad because of the colors, but you see it, like, it doesn't really clip because it goes out far enough. That's probably not going to be true of... Oh, well, kind of. Okay, all right. So you can do stuff like that. Stuff like this is not going to work as well because you get the butt bump clipping. I don't like that, but it doesn't clip with anything, so there you go. This is a pretty obvious one, I think. This is good on a lot of Warframes. Let's see what we got. Nah. This might... No, not at all. Wow. Damn. I actually kind of like that one. Huh. I'm going to change the colors later, but that's actually pretty cool. Alright, huh. Not bad. Wow. I actually really like that on her. In a, like, weird way. Anyway. Any, how'd I find Argo Fox? You mean the music? So I may or may not continue using music on YouTube streams because of the copyright nightmare. I have very frequently used very well-known, like, non-copyright will not go for claims on songs channels, like very well-known ones. I've still gotten videos demonetized with that, so I might just shy away from general music on YouTube streams. I have another idea, I have a backup idea, but I found Argo Fox just by looking for, like, royalty-free, non-copyright claim music. There's lots of other options. There's no copyright sounds is a very big popular one. D might nerf Maiming Strike, hence why I spent like 3 minutes talking about why you don't need it. I don't know why we're on Inaros. Paul Progress, I'll see you later. Thanks for being here for a little bit. Boop-a-doop-a-boo. Fireflame, you say, what kind of Warframes do I have? I have all of them. I don't usually keep non-prime variants. I have these 3 mags for memes. I usually don't keep non-prime variants, but there are some where there's like a significant reason to. Like Hydroid's base model is like pretty bad looking, but I have this fashion for him that I think looks like alright, at least like tolerable. So I feel like that's kind of more worth having. Boop. For some reason, my Worm Prime doesn't use the DMR, but my Taxon does. What's up with that? You mean you can't equip it, or it doesn't fire it? Short answer is make sure you have your attack precept on, because otherwise they won't fire them. That's what determines whether they'll fire them. And it could also be the order. So remember that your Sentinel does things in the order, left to right, top to bottom. This is fine. Putting it last, you can still usually get it to fire off, but I want, Guardian first. I want Crowd Dispersion first. I want Sacrifice first. So that might be part of why. I think people say Vauban works well because of the Vonvalis or something. I don't know. He might keep them away from the Terror list with Repelling Bastille, but that's not that good. It's not that strong. That's interesting though. If you had to pick between fishing and mining, which one would you pick? Like I have to do it like constantly. I guess I would do fishing because I get less bored. But if you say like right now you have to go do a little of something, what do you have to do? I'd probably say mining just because it takes less effort. I don't know. I'm kind of lukewarm on both. I don't hate either of them. Some people just hate them. I do not hate either of them. I think they're okay. 3 mags just to piss Shy off. Well, sort of. You think of it as solidarity. So if they nerf Maiming Strike, what about X% crit chance on Slide Attack? They probably will not nerf Maiming Strike. They might, but they probably won't. It's going to remain expensive, though, so I gave you an alternative. Nathan Kirkwood says, would Prime Fury work as a decent substitute if I don't have Berserker? Definitely get Berserker. It is a decent substitute, but Berserker is cheaper and better on most good melee weapons, and it's not that hard to get, so I definitely recommend that you just get it. It's interesting to me that you have Prime Fury but not Berserker. That's fascinating. And it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but the additional attack speed does make a big difference. Yes. Okay. Let's go do solo sorties or something. Let's see what we got for that, and then we could go do an Eidolon. How long? We'll have to check how long we have. Lots of words at once. Spy, sabotage, assassination. Assassination is Vor. Yeah, we can do that. That's not hard. Let's do should we do Limbo Spy? No, I'll probably do yeah, we could do Limbo Spy. Some Limbo Spy. Let's take the Stubba. The Stubba! And we'll grab the Corinth, I think. Yep. And what would I like? Let's level the Dextocra. No, I don't need to do that. That's not necessary. I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that. Let's take the Croaker. Not for any reason in particular. Doesn't really matter what our build is. Yeah, that's fine. My Limbo fashion is like very in the experimental stage. I was like right in the middle of working on it, so just kind of avert your eyes, you know. You know how it is. Nathan Cookwood, Berserker is not an Acolyte mod. You can always get Berserker. Xandy, does Exodia Force work with Chromatic Blade, and if so, is it fun? It does work with it. Previously, it was really bad because it didn't scale with any of your damage, but now it does, and it's pretty powerful. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. I recommend it as long as you don't mind the investment, but I will say that I think that Exodia Force is better for using the melee weapons as melee weapons than it is for, like, doing things specifically with Chromatic Blade. Like, I think it's better, like, generally than it is, Oh, right, this is the slow duration. Well, okay. That's gonna be fun. This is going to be an awful time. How long do we have until night? I forgot how long Kuva Fortress Spy can take sometimes. Let's see about the timers. We might just go do Eidolons. No, Nathan, don't worry about it. It's confusing enough with the way that Acolyte mods work in general. Yeah, let's do Acolytes Eidolons. Let's do Eidolons instead. I think people will benefit more from that. Solo sorties is always like not a bad thing to show and do, but I would rather show Eidolons with how much people have been talking about them. So here's like a really simple, like, I want to kill Eidolons. I don't want it to be a hassle. Here's that Lonka build I showed before. Acolytes, just some usable guns. And then I like having a slide attack melee. A really nice other weapon for this, Joey Zero made at this point, so let's show it, is the Knell. Because the Eidolon's head is really big. So, although I will say, I do want to say, the Knell is a lot worse. It's not awful, but a lot worse for Eidolons if you don't, what was I going to say? If you don't have access to like a rapid left click macro, it gets a lot worse. It's not like bad, but it's not great. Here is what I recommend. Build this, and you too shall know glory. Killing Eidolons with the Knell. Let's do that. Let's show that. Salmon, we're definitely not going to do Prodman today. I just don't have time. If we weren't going to do Eidolons, I might. But you want to do Eidolons, Salmon? We could get out there, prepare, hang out there for a little bit, and then do them. Team Luhan, I'm right in the middle of making a Limbo video, so that build was meaningless. Just ignore it. Like everything that you saw in Limbo, just forget about it. It is all basically just testing for a video. Boop. Maximum Inferno, hi, what's up? I'm doing pretty well. How are you? How are you, my dude? So yeah, folks, if you want to do Eidolons, let's get prepared ahead of time, shall we? That'd be nice. Let's get some Eidolon gems ahead of time, shall we? Oh. Hi, folks. So, we're just gonna do it by the book. It's not gonna be anything fancy. We'll get a healer. If anyone's got Oberon or Trinity, we can do that, and then we can take whoever else. I'm fine with us carrying someone. If someone is like new to Eidolons and you don't know what to do, that's totally fine. It's your boy, Host Migration Prime. Yeah, boy. That's what I like to see. Eddie, what's up? It has been a while. Welcome back, my dude. Kylo Ray, hi. Zed, hello. My students are writing and I've got assignments due. No! Zed, don't procrastinate using my stream. It's bad. Except do. Continue doing it. Yes! Surf Loud, I'd love to have you, sure. Come to me. We're gonna have to, like, derp around for a little bit, though. Which is fine. Plains derping is totally fine. Fish them fishies. Why do you want me to fish so bad? Would that really entertain you? Just give me Eidolon jams. Those Eidolon jams. I've been pretty well. In general, I've been pretty well. It's a slow season for content creation. Fun fact about content creator stuff. Basically during the beginning of the year, like the longer the year goes on, the slower it is for ad revenue. I don't completely understand why, but basically it's like holiday season hype that sort of backends it toward the end of the year. So ads make a lot more money, like your ads on YouTube and everywhere else really, make a lot more money during the end of the year than the beginning of the year. And in general, I've noticed that view count is also lower most places toward the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year is pretty slow. There's not much you can do about it, so it's been like a little tough financially, but not the end of the world. So go figure. Boop 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 boop. Dat mining gameplay, I know, right? Condition overload Zod like Exodia Hunt and Nezha's 1 augment. Nezha's 1 augment doesn't really help, but I agree Nezha is fun for condition overload. Nezha's 1 augment is like a build onto itself. It's like you don't even need anything else. It does the whole job by its lonesome. Oh baby, give me that cheddar. All right, you little haters. Oh baby, oh baby. One question, is Prime Chamber that OP? Yeah, like no. Because it just doesn't matter. Like, you just don't gain that much from it. It's powerful. Like, it's not like it's not good, but it's not a big deal. Look at that, no damage. Ugh. Ugh. Delicious. Delicious. And offensive, we might be full, but Salmon is not sure about his internet connection, so we'll see what we got. Only if you have Charge Chamber as well. No, they get worse together because they have the same stacking bonus. Charge Chamber is still really good. How do you mod your pickaxe? Well, first you add stabbiness, and then you add a touch of RNGesus. Put a little bit of RNGesus in there. Oh god, I have such bad aim. Oh no, Gray, don't worry about it. I mean, I would ask if it was really that bad. I just mean, like, financial security is a thing that is valuable, you know? Even if you're fine, like, even if it's, like, not, like, and nothing is really wrong exactly, it's still, like, it's nice to not have to worry about it, you know? Wrecked. And Gray, I'm hoping that I have some plans in place to hopefully make it better and more stable going forward as well. So I'm not super worried about it, but I mean I very much appreciate the sentiment. I just like I think the goal for this profession is to make the money without needing to ask for it, and it is hard. It is not super hard. There are harder things, but it's not always easy. I'm always so like I'm so nervous and twitchy when I try to snipe in games. Like, I get the crosshair on the target and I'm like, but what if I miss? Like, it's literally on the target. You're not gonna miss. Just click the button, and then like I hesitate, and of course it's not on the target anymore. I don't know. I think I started playing FPS games too late in life. Do you think the one build to rule them all would be good in the Atarax? It's okay, but there's a better build. There are weapons where it's not the best build, even though it's a very good build. The one build to rule them all is in general like not always the best build on weapons where it works. It often is, but it's not always the best build. It's always a good build on weapons where it works. It's very good on the Atarax, but you can produce a better build with harder to get mods. So, you know, take it or leave it. So did they make it so Volts 3 doesn't work on operators? I'm pretty sure that still works. I kind of forget. Kylo Ray, it's definitely not that. Warframe has actually had a lot of, we've been getting a lot of stuff. It's certainly not like new gameplay stuff, but we've been getting lots of updates, so I don't think it's because of that. It's possible. Maybe other people don't feel like that is activeness, but I don't know if I think that's why. Maybe. You could be right. I shouldn't say no, because I'm not really sure, but I don't think that's why. That's just my thought. Xandy, I just got Prime Breach. I want to know what are some top tier weapons for this mod. Please, a variety would be awesome. Delta, so here's a starter kit. All polearms, pretty much all polearms except Legion. All whips are really good with Prime Reach. Galatine Prime is really good with Prime Reach. If you build a Zoss staff, I think Prime Reach is like alright. Let's see. What else is good? Again, we're literally just derping around out here until nighttime, so feel free to ask whatever you like. Secura Dulcestra. I love it. I gotta get those again, now that they're actually good now. I miss them. Let's see, what else? Anyway, yeah, like basically all polearms except Legion. Basically all whips. Galatine Prime. Prime Fury, Prime Reach, excuse me, in general. The rule of thumb I would give you is like if it has good range to begin with, it's generally pretty good. It's good on Blade and Whips, although I don't use it on all of them. I think it's good on Jack Kassar. It's not great on some of the other Blade and Whips. They don't really have a good spot for it. Just always remember that it's a damage trade-off, and if you're not doing enough damage in the first place, then you shouldn't get rid of damage and use Primed Reach, because that doesn't really accomplish that much. You shouldn't do no damage to more targets, you know? But it also builds combo counter faster, so there's that. It's a trade-off. Don't run it on everything with good range just because it has good range, but if you feel like you have an open spot, then it's really good on most weapons, even if they have medium range. Just don't use it on small. Like, don't think, oh, this weapon has low range, so I'm going to put Prime Reach on it. It's not going to do anything. Remember that it is multiplying the amount you have. It's not adding more, it's just multiplying what you have. So if you don't have any range, then you're not going to get much more from Prime Reach. Just remember that. And that's basically the rule of thumb that I feel. Great, good question. Let me get to that in a sec. Does the Legion lack the base damage to make it worth it? No, Legion is good. It's just Legion has terrible base range. Legion has the lowest range of all polearms. It's actually got really bad range. It's great. It doesn't really lack damage or anything. It just the range is bad. Phoenix, welcome. I'm glad that you have reached the first stream. Oh yeah, Jack Attack. Some hammers have good range. Jack Attack has good range. It's good with Prime Reach. That's a good one. Joshua, good catch. Let me go back up because there are questions that I wanted to talk about but I missed. Shattering Impact does still work on Eidolons. Are there any good use cases for Lasting Sting? Is that the thing that's like longer status duration on something? The answer is mostly no. If the game gets harder, there will be times when we want to use that. As a content creator, is Twitch or YouTube more productive? Neither. Patreon. But in general, it depends a lot. It's really not possible to say one way or another. Someone said usually Twitch. I don't really agree. It's really complicated. If you make content that is very... So for example, like if you make content that's really staggered out, YouTube is going to make you practically no money because you make money based on like content. And even though making longer content can make you more money in a lot of ways, you still aren't going to make that much money if you don't make it frequently. By contrast, on Twitch, all you really have to do is show up a good amount, and you will make money in proportion to your audience to some degree. But that also means that you can't really improve it, which is a problem in and of itself. So what I mean by that is that like on YouTube, you can have better ads, you can get better ads, you can get better CPM, which is how much money you make per 1,000 views. You can make videos that are better optimized for that. You can make more content more often that will get more views. You make money even if you stop making stuff because your videos are still generating money. So for example, I would say, although my size is bigger on YouTube, I would say that my YouTube channel is about as successful as my Twitch channel is, like in terms of like overall quality so far, and how engaged people are, how consistently, what proportion of my audience consumes my content. That's kind of complicated, but I hope that was helpful. So it depends a lot. It depends like a ton. I do think that for someone just starting out, Twitch is probably going to be better in the beginning, but YouTube has a lot of like long-term growth potential that just isn't there on Twitch in some ways, unless you're like huge on Twitch. But growing on Twitch is also really demanding because you can't really grow that much faster based on quality. You kind of have to fight the streaming longer than everyone else wars because Twitch only really lists streams based on how many views they have. So you kind of just have to fight like and stream for hours and hours until you're at the top of the directory, and then suddenly you start getting a bunch of new follows. That's very time consuming. And on YouTube, you can often make more money on like a more flexible schedule by not having to do that. It's still hard though. They can both be hard. It depends a lot. So I can't answer that because there isn't an answer, but that's what I have to say about that. Just keep in mind that YouTube has the benefit of you making money when you're not doing anything. If I go away for a weekend, I still get paid for that weekend because people watch my videos. I'll be talking about in my video coming out tonight that you'll see after I stop streaming, about how like I've made most of my money every month off of like old frameworks like that people are still watching. So even if I don't get a big video in a month, I still make a pretty surprisingly similar amount of money, like more similar than you might think to when I have a big video, just because people are still watching it. Let me scroll back up. Anyway, that's my answer for that. Questions about that in general are always welcome. Never feel like they're not. It's okay to ask about business stuff on my channel. I like talking about that stuff. Part of my message, part of my goal as a content creator is to inform people a little bit more about like what is happening with content creators. I think people understand the medium very poorly, including most content creators, so I want to help. So if you're ever confused about that stuff, please ask. I would love to talk about it. Did we just get Naga Reach? That's nice. It's not too bad, dude. Boop. Boop. Yes, okay, so I hope that's helpful. Melee weapons feel like they have 10+ mandatory mods. I actually think that's quite a good thing. We have enough good melee mods now that it doesn't feel like there are mandatory mods anymore because there are more of them than you can actually use, which means you can kind of just pick which ones you want and like they'll all do good damage. I think that's good. I think we secretly kind of have mods 2.0 or like mods 3.0, damage 3.0. Through melee because we have enough good mods that you can actually choose now. I think that may not have been on purpose, but it certainly happened. Is there an enemy up here? Okay, die. That's a lot of damage, damn. Okay. Catching up. Maximum Inferno, congrats on buying my glyph. I just saw you buy that on Twitch. What do you suggest for first amp and best amp? So first amp, just build 111 because it's such a large upgrade. The one prism and the one scaffold are kind of overlap, like they kind of do similar things, but it it is so much better than not having a built amp. Like, it's so much better than the moat amp that I would still recommend just get it so that you have something that's not the moat amp. Okay. I really don't feel like I missed there, but okay. And then for the best amp, I do think the Schwach Prism, which is this thing, I feel pretty strongly that it's just unarguably the best prism. Lets you punch through the Eidolon and get like 5 or 6 multi-hits per shot. It's very spammable, it's very easy to hit with, projectile's really fat, it's good at killing Vomvilists. And then, because you're going to use that for most of your actual attacking, I feel that the Klebrick Scaffold, this aimbot laser, is really the only worthwhile scaffold. You know you're going to be shooting the Schwach Prism for your DPSing on Eidolons, so you might as well get a scaffold that isn't good at doing damage to Eidolons, because you're not going to use it. Instead, you can use the Klebrick Scaffold to easily aimbot kill a bunch of Vomvilists really easily. Got a bunch of Vomvilists hanging out, you can just kill them all very easily, very quickly, which is really efficient and really helpful. Does enough damage to kill the Voms right through their spirit form. I mean, you can't actually kill them through their spirit form, but, you know, burn down their normal form and then kill their spirit form. So I recommend making a 1-1-1 amp and then make a 2-3 and then whatever you want amp. The braces are all good. I do think the 3 brace is probably the best overall, but I get a lot of usability out of the 1 brace. I have 2-3-1 right now, and I think that's good. It's very usable. It's very forgiving. I don't think you need the 2nd brace that gives you like faster recharge time. I don't really feel that's necessary, but if you like it, it's alright. So I recommend that. Generally, I prefer Moses beard type. I don't even have a beard. I'm glad you think I look cute, but I feel like I don't have a beard. I feel like if you like beards, you wouldn't think I was attractive. But cheers. I do what I can. I appreciate that. Is that handcuffs on the wall? It's like a hand accessory. You sort of like put it around. It's like a hand harness, decorative hand harness thing. Right? I'm like, there are handcuffs somewhere, but I don't think that's them. Let us save an Arcwing charge, shall we? Go. Is it nighttime yet? Like, is it time yet? Gray, let me get to your question. So you said, let me go back. Hans, I appreciate the pride, my dude. I really do. I've had very little how should I say, queer culture in my life for somebody who's attracted to people of all genders. I've really had no opportunity to actually be attracted to all genders because I so rarely find men that I think are nice at all. But go figure. Let me go back in chat and find your question, Gray. I seem to be stuck in mid-game. I don't feel strong enough to progress to do sorties and Eidolons, but I'm not sure what to do. Are there specific mods I should be hunting down? Gray, so you've done the main quests, I gather, and you have access to the quills. You probably have a moat amp, but you don't feel like you're good enough for sorties and Eidolons. I feel like that is relatively common. Get weapons you like and put Forma on them and make a one build to rule them all thing as a start. And I think that you will find that that will be strong enough for most content. But if you don't, then we should talk about it more. I would say in general, I recommend to most people that they just go get a one build to rule them all and like see how it does, basically. And then you can kind of customize from there. But I think that's a good starting point. Get a good hybrid weapon. When I say one build to rule them all, if you haven't seen that video I made, I just mean a hybrid weapon. Get a hybrid weapon, get a nice hybrid weapon, and see what you can do with it. Make sure you have Blood Rush, make sure you have Drifting Contact, Make sure you have your multi-shot mods for all different kinds of weapons, your base damage mods, and level them up to like level 8 or whatever, I don't know. It doesn't have to be that high. Stuff like that. Make sure you have dual stat mods. If you don't have the electricity one that Barrow often brings, that's totally fine. You don't really need it. Just lean toward weapons that use viral and gas instead. Or Warframe powers that strip armor. You don't really need to have the corrosive dual stat mods necessarily. And you can always use the 90% element to substitute in. So I generally recommend doing that. Like just do that until you feel like you have the power to be comfortable doing sorties, which should be pretty easy. I don't wanna make you feel bad if you don't feel like it is. But if you have those setups, I want you to be able to feel confident that you should be able to do sorties. I'd be happy to do them with you, and just sort of experience that with you. Maybe I could figure out what is being a roadblock for you, and then that might help me help other people with it too. So that could be cool. So we could do that sometime. Gray is one of my patrons, so I already talk to them frequently enough anyway. So I would be very excited to do that with you if you'd like. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say. For Eidolons, I would say the initial quills grind to get a 111 amp is a bit annoying. So I could just run you through one, and then you get a ton of quills rep from doing like Tridolons one time. You'll see that from us doing it now. You get so much, so that will kind of just skip that part, which is good because I think it's a little annoying. They should just give you a somewhat decent amp path. Oh. Xandy lead shots, starring Xandy, co-starring projectile weapons. There we go. Okay. Greato. How do you feel about melee dual wielding with secondaries, maybe gunblades? I want more of that, but they need to add more features. I think that they should add stances. I think they should let you use stances when you're dual wielding, because I think that would really flesh it out more, or make more different stances. For glaives, they have like different stance attacks, which is cool. Silent War, thanks for the follow on Twitch. Oh boy, more follows on Twitch. Bob the Mighty. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate the cross-platform support. Yeah, Gregory, in general, I'm very, very happy to be transparent about content creation stuff. I want people to know more about it. I think that misinformation is actually one of YouTube's and the Warframe Partner Program and Twitch, this profession in general, misinformation or like lack of information is actually one of the largest problems, like one of the largest working hazards. People dislike you for reasons that make no sense, or like don't know how to help you, like what is actually helpful to you, if they want to support you. Don't know what things do. One of the funny benefits of this profession is it's pretty clearly proven that disliking a video makes it more popular. So people who go out of their way to be like, I don't like this content creator, so I'm gonna dutifully make their videos do a little worse by disliking all of them. Like that makes the video more popular. Like stop doing that. I mean, or keep doing that. That's cool. Or like when people post like a huge comment that gets tons of replies, like trash talking a video, it's like, you know, that increases the video's like search engine rating, right? Like you're helping me so much. Like you're giving me a palpable amount of money by doing that. Not very much money, but like money. Here we go. Eidolon's coming out. Is 7 format enough for Aclex Prime, or should I add an 8th? I think 6 is enough. I think I have a Riven and I have 7, or maybe 6. I think 5 is enough. I'm not sure. I'll be happy to take a look after this. Remind me if I forget, because that is a good question. Aclex Prime, it's not super bad. It should be one build to rule the mauling. And then your last mod, I might recommend that mod that reloads the gun while it's holstered. That's good on Aclex Prime. And just don't use it all the time. Like when you need to reload it, just put it away and use something else. That's pretty strong. Let me get going here. Oh. All right, let me go through comments really quick. I feel I'm at the point where the only thing for me to actually do is finish out my mods codex. Yeah, no, I mean I think there comes a point where like you're not doing new things that much, which is fair. Do you think the Archititron is better than the Volnus? Yeah, they're close in my experience. That's a weird question. I actually think they're pretty close. Xandy, what's your build in Lanka and how many Forma? I forget, but it's just radiation. Super normal. It's not anything exciting. It's like the most normal build in the entire game. I'd be happy to show you after we get out of here. Speaking of showing you after we get out of here, my friend, a friend of mine from outside the Warframe community, is going to develop an app that allows us to show you our builds while we are in game. It should be pretty simple. I actually don't think it's going to be too difficult. I think we might even be able to get it done this year, or maybe even like before the summer. It shouldn't be that bad at all. I'm pretty excited for it. It's gonna be huge, and make a big difference to our community. So I'm very excited for it. Oh, that type of hacking on my new keyboard is a bit odd. Not gonna lie. So yeah, so I will show that after this, but it's nothing special. It's super normal build. Nothing about it is gonna surprise you or teach you anything new. It's literally just radiation damage and the best mods. But I would of course be happy to show that because you might not know what that is. Oh god, someone's angry outside. What a surprise. Come inside, play a nice game. Yeah. Baza with viral is a good starting point. That's fair. And the mods are like relatively accessible. Hi Xandy, will you be doing team frameworks soon? Yeah, like sort of. Ian, that's so that will be addressed in my video tonight. Tonight I'm putting out a video that's not really Warframe content directly, but it's like talking about where Framework is going, like what's gonna happen in Framework in the future. And when you see that, which will be right after this stream, it'll come out right after this stream. We got to charge a lure. Oh, we have a friend. Nom 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 nom. There's one down. And nom 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 nom. There's one down. And one more. Nom 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 nom. Feed it. Feed the lure. No. Why? Oh, there we go. Well, we have a charged lure now. No. You have to wait. No. Ah. There it is. Okay. There we go. Oh my god, there, Eric. Gray, I kind of surreptitiously sunk that in. Alright, well, hold on. Let me catch up on chat. I've been behind on chat for a little bit. Let me boop, scoobity-doop over here. But yeah, team frameworks are kind of coming. If you have time for a second trio, will you be able to take a new group? Yeah, we could swap someone out if we have time. I'm not sure we will. I wish there was a way to easily squad up to find new players with stuff that would otherwise be hard for them, like a matchmaking rework. I agree. Brozyme had suggested something like that, where you could get rewards for matching with people that needed more help, which would have been really, really cool. There we go. Nice and neat. So again, as you see, it takes about 2.5 shots. All you have to do is roar. It doesn't require any of Chroma's setup. It doesn't require Riven. It doesn't require anything fancy at all. Just build power strength on Rhino and get Alanka with a totally normal build, and you can basically 2-shot, like 2.5-shot Eidolon limbs all day long. No need for anything more fancy. And again, like, yeah, if you have a Riven, like, go for it, but I want to show that it's... People have this idea that you, like, need a Riven, which is why I usually use this really simple build with a frame most people get early in the game, so I can demonstrate that you really don't need that. You don't need any of that stuff. Oh well, okay, that was fast. Good job. I had a bad line of sight for a little bit there. Black Sage never 390% elementals. That's I'll show you what I have, but always stop at 2 elemental mods. Not literally. I can't say literally always, but it's only pedantics. Pretty much always. You should basically always stop at 2 90% elements. 3 is pretty much always bad. Not always, but like nearly always. I would say 3 is always bad if they're not the same. Like if you're not building for the same element, like that's really the only time I can think of to use 3. But that's probably not entirely. Anyway, again, I can't say that, but like it's pretty close to being true. Actually, I should just stand around. Is not a big deal. Oh right, healing phase. I was spacing out. I was like, this is going on for a long time. So as you can see, you can just like flail your mouse around and kill a ton of Vomvilists super easily, which is really convenient. Oh. Time to kill him. Oop, 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 oop. Get out of my lure. Oop. There she blows. Good job, folks. First one down. How do you feel about not needing to switch to melee to have access to the combos? I don't know. I think that's a good balancing mechanic. I think quick melee is currently a little strong. Personally, I think it's like maybe a little bit too beneficial to just not take out your melee weapon. So I don't know if I want that buffed. I don't think that's good for balance, but it would be cool. I do think that would be cool. They really should just make it like. What's it called? They should make it be, that weapon switching is faster. Zez, I'll see you later. Have a good time. Black Sage, don't run Primed Heated Charge. If you're talking about a Mesa build, I highly discourage Primed Heated Charge. You're better off with just Corrosive in my experience. It's not bad, though. Like, it's not like Primed Heated Charge is so awful. I just don't think it's as good as running, Hold on one sec. Do you think you can stack up enough momentum to launch yourself from the highest part of the plains to the gate? Probably not. The gravity becomes a limitation. You get gravity applied to you kind of in a weird way in this game, and I think that it would eventually force you to fall. So I don't think so, but it's not maybe. It'd be interesting to try, but I have played with that a fairly good amount, and I want to say no, but I don't know. It's a good question. We should call it taxi service, yeah. Plain, thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate the cross-platform support. Oh boy, more cross blah 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 blah. Kaon, thanks for the cross-platform support on Twitch. It's nice to get Twitch follows when I stream on YouTube. There used to be a joke during like kind of the dark ages of my Twitch where I would stream on YouTube and I'd get more, like it would grow my Twitch more to stream on YouTube than on Twitch, which is kind of sad. Oop. Ooh, something smells good. Maybe Anna's cooking something. Well, what is that smell? It's like... It might be chicken. What is that smell? That smells wicked good. I'm gonna go out and investigate that after we kill these Eidolons. We have so many lures. Not that that's a bad thing, but... So many lures. Get him in the knee. There, the she blows. Good job. Good job, folks. Boop. Hey Xandy, just curious how you plan your day, manage your time with streaming your freelance work. Mostly by not having a schedule. I have some small, kind of disjointed things to say about that. So first of all, by having your own schedule, you save a lot of time with things like grocery shopping and going out in general, because you can always do it at times that would be inconvenient for everyone else, because you have your own schedule. Most people don't want to go grocery shopping, for example, at 7 p.m. because they're just getting back from work. That would be a really inconvenient time for most people, but it's very convenient for me because I'm just done streaming and I've been in the house all day, so so that's a way I can save a lot of time doing that. I just like doing those things at night too. So stuff like that saves you a surprising amount of time. I generally organize my time by just letting myself be comfortable with when I want to do things. You get a lot of time back just by like not having to be on someone else's schedule, you know? Like, you don't work for anyone directly, so you can just wake up when you want to wake up and work when you want to work and set your schedule to be whatever you have to schedule. You can just make it when it's convenient for you, and in that way you save a lot of time because you don't have to you never have to be tired, for example. You never have to work if you're not being efficient. Like, if you're not getting stuff done, you can just stop and do something else, or like have leisure time or whatever. Spend time with your romantic partner or whatever, and then get back to it when it is a good time for you. And I think you can't underestimate how much time that can save. It's a very, very big time saver to be able to just like do work when you're actually getting stuff done instead of like when you are paid to get it done. Yeah, so that's a huge time saver, and I would say now that I've said all of that, I hope it makes sense when I say you kind of don't need to be that efficient with your time, because you have so much more of it than everyone else. I find that I can do so much more in a day than most other people can, it seems to me, because I can just do it on my own schedule. I can sleep more while also doing more than most people can. So I would say there's not really a secret exactly. I'm a very unscheduled person. Like, I'm not very formal with my scheduling in my personal life. I do things on a really random, like, guerrilla warfare schedule, just kind of whenever I feel like doing them. I don't really have much of a, like, schedule. I do often try to, like, make content in bursts. I get in a rhythm, and then I make, like, 2 videos, maybe, which is why you sometimes see videos coming up at the last minute, but sometimes see them come up, like, a few days in advance. That varies because of that. Or do we have Harrow? I might be totally unnecessarily avoiding that magnetic rod. Anyway, so that's a lot of it. That's a good question, but I actually don't put a gigantic amount of effort into that, to be honest. And sometimes that's a problem. I think the biggest thing is like work ahead when you can, give yourself a break when you want to, when you need to, and it makes everything flow a lot better. To sort of like pay it forward with yourself and say, look, I need time now, so I'm not going to work now, but I've paid it forward, and I worked earlier when I didn't have to as well, so it's fine. And having that sort of like contract with yourself is very safe, feels very comfortable and very nice. Yeah, Salmon, you're doing a good Harrow as well. I was totally unnecessarily avoiding the magnetic proc, so you got perfect timing. Very impressive. We're doing pretty well. Our kill times are pretty nice so far. So, the Greater C, if you want to jump in for one, get ready, because I think we'll probably have time for at least one more. What freelance do you do? Just some editing work. I do some video editing, and I also do a bit of like editing, like prose editing. I'm an English major by trade, like I was an English major in college, so I do that a little bit for a lot of different sources, and one problem with that work is like it's nice to have, again, your own schedule and everything, but like it takes some time to find it. I am transitioning to being full-time YouTuber and Twitch person and stuff. Wrecked. Good question. That work schedule works well only for people who aren't chronic procrastinators. Well, I feel like chronic procrastinators are ill-suited for this type of industry, to be honest with you. Ah. Where's your head? Show me your moves! There we go. Nice job. Oh god, the lures are nowhere near him! No! Why are they over here? No! Huge fail, no! Oh, that hurts. It's real the pain you feel. Well, at least we have lures for the next one, I suppose. Oh, that's pain in its truest form, folks. Ooh. Ooh. It burns us. Boop. No! Okay, I made it. I hate aim gliding with scopes. It feels bad. I don't have any, no! Alright, we're leaving. Bang out. Alright, Greater Sea, let's do this. Zangboy, hi. Abideep, hi. Oh, spicy people have returned to my chat after a long absence. Hitesh, that was the Gansha list, the middle one. We had our lures not on follow, so we don't get to kill the last one. So we're going to do the Terra list and the Gansha list again. We probably won't get to the Hydra list in time, but we'll see. We will see. I'm going to have to go right after this. But for now, we can ride. Bug frame. All right. Greater Sea, do we have you on deck? Yes, you are here. Oh, glorious. All right. Go, go, go. Go, door, go. You can do it. Open up. Also, Wyatt, what you said before about, like, the work schedule only works for people that don't procrastinate a lot. Like, you might be underestimating how easy it can be to get yourself to work if you really like what you do. Like, I'm so excited to, like, get to play Warframe and make cool videos about stuff that, like, it just, like, I find myself able to sort of, like, sit down and be like, I want to make a video, you know, like, when I don't get to make videos, when I take time off, like, I often just want to make videos. So, can you show your build real fast? Yes, of course. Well, yeah, Zangboy, I mean, taking a break is always good. Or, you know, if you feel you have to quit, then go for it. But it's never bad to take some space from a game. So this is the Lanka. Again, this is the simplest, like, humanly possible build. It's worth noting that you don't need Stormbringer because you already have electricity, and if you had a better mod for this spot, it would do more damage because you don't want to overstack elements. But in this case, I don't feel there is anything, so there it is. Again, super simple build, very easy to put together. Lanka. And then Rhino is here. A lot of this is unnecessary. Deadeye does practically nothing. Because this is additive with Serration, so even though it says 52% damage, it's not increasing your damage by 52% because it's additive with Serration, so it's more like 17% increased damage, 17 to 20% increased damage. Iron Shrapnel, so you can refresh your Iron Skin. Crap ton of strength. Range is totally unnecessary because I'm wicked selfish. There you go. Very simple, literally just strength. Here's what's on my Nell. It's the exact same thing as the build for the Lanka, except it has hydraulic crosshairs instead of speed trigger on that build, what would be Argon Scope. And that's for something else. We can do it with just 3, it's fine. Oop. Goodbye, good luck with your midterm. Chances of success in Eidolon without a Trinity. No, you can use Oberon. Oberon's just as good at it, if not better. Oh no, for sure. I mean, Wyatt, I don't think it fixes it when you get a real job. I think it's a matter of like this is not really a real job. Like it's a job, it's a business, but it's not like a, you know, sit in an office job or whatever. It's me doing what I want to do, and like it's very easy for me to motivate myself to do literally whatever I want. That is easy. To the gate. Quick. We might run out of time at this rate. Hold on. Let me see how much time we have. I also have to end the stream right after we finish killing Eidolons, I think. We have 29 minutes a night left. So yeah, we can definitely get kills in. Do I want Harrow or Oberon? That's a good question. Oh. Oberon because ours left. But you need range on war for teammates. No, you don't, because you can kill the limbs yourself with 2.5 shots. You absolutely do not need the range for teammates. Totally unnecessary. Nice, but totally unnecessary. You can easily kill the limbs on your own in like 1.5 seconds. Yeah, Oberon is quite good. For a lot of reasons. Better than Trinity in the sense that you can negate magnetic procs. But not as good in the sense that it's harder, which is not a big deal. Aclix build. Oh yeah, okay. Yes, I'll show that. I mean, we're just on the clock because nighttime is going to end and now we only have 3 people, so I will show it afterward. I want to kill it. I love killing this ship. Why? Please. Why won't you die? Poor ship. Okay, let's go. Let's find the Eidolon first, actually. Hello. I need to kill you really quickly. Please, please love me, Eidolon. Oh, there she blows. There she blows. Boop. Beginning welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying our streams. Since Arcanes are easier to get now, do you think you might start adding them to your frameworks? Yes. The current run of framework will finish without them, but the next run of framework will have them where appropriate. There are some frames where it doesn't really make a difference, some frameworks where it will not really make a difference, but for a lot of them it does, and where they do make a significant difference, I will include them. I will have had enough time to get them, and they will be in there. I have a lot of cool ideas for frameworks with Arcanes, but not all of them will have them because they're just not like that meaningful. I'll probably recommend some, but like there's no point saying, you know, like Arcane Grace is good on like every frame and not amazing on some. Arcane Guardian will give you a lot more armor, you know, like that's a big deal on some frames, but on a lot of frames it's like, okay, yes, that will increase your survivability. It doesn't matter, you know. It's not worth saying. It's not worth spending time in a video on that. Although, as I say that, no hate to Kinshu, who is a content creator who does do that in every video. I think it's worthwhile to have someone who's doing it. So just to show, Joey Zero was talking about how you can do this. It's pretty easy to kill limbs with that too. And it's got infinite ammo, so that's nice. I don't think you really need more ammo when you're using the Lanka, but it's nice that you don't have to worry about ammo with the Nell. Why is that lure like running over there? It's confused. Okay, well. Who needs ya? Who needs ya? Hey-oh. Good job. There she blows. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty easy too. I don't know if I like it better than Lanka, but it's not hard. It's pretty nice. Good backup. Yeah, boy. There's that virtuous tempo kicking in. I'm pretty excited to show my sort of like evergreen loadout too, like my stuff I use with pretty much every frame, like Xeneric and the operator and amp arcanes that I use on basically everyone. I don't feel those have much build diversity, but that's fine. It means it's simple to show them. Get your hand out of the way. There we go. Fruits out, hi. Can you say behold when you kill it? Sure. that is a reasonable request that I think I can accommodate. Correct. How much longer will you be streaming? Just the end of this night cycle and then I gotta go. But I will be streaming Thursday, as normal, for the Fashion Frame Finals, the Fashion Frame Showdown Finals. Will be this Thursday, and then also a normal stream. The finals should take about a half hour, and then we'll do a normal stream after that. And then I gotta go for the weekend, so I'll miss our Saturday stream. But after that, we should be pretty consistent in a schedule for a little while. Which is nice. Always nice to be able to actually do my job consistently. How lovely. Show me a face. There we go. Friggin' okay. Behold, it is dead. The beast is dead. Behold and rejoice. I love the death animation when you capture them. Nice, nice, nice. Ooh, got him. Even caught the core. What do you think? Do we have time for the Hydralist? Probably not, right? No! Oh my god. Cannot bullet jump. Trash tier streamer right here, folks. How many more lures do we need? We're kind of fine. Let's go get one more. We can save that part for later. Oh, not if I can't find them. It's just more over here. Yeah, boy. Even if it's not like the best, although I kind of feel like it is, Virtuous Tempo is so satisfying to use. Right. You do that thing. Ah. I wonder what the AM type boss content will be for Venus. I feel like it's gonna be those spider crab things. It's gonna be like Corpus machines, I bet, and not like Eidolons. That's my thought anyway. That's what I would like personally. I want enemies besides sentients to matter to us. I want them to be a significant threat. Odd question, where is Uncle keeping all these captured sentients? I feel like the word capture is kind of misused. I really hate that it's called capturing. It doesn't make any sense. I think it should be that you sort of like subdue them if you don't use lures, and then you actually kill them and like shred their energy apart and absorb it into the lures, like if you use lures. But that's just my own flavor gripes and doesn't have anything to do with the game. I just think it'd make a little bit more sense, I don't know. Combat looting! You saw it here first, folks. No, please don't do the operator quotes. I can't deal with it. Oh, they're so bad. They could have been so good. I need about 700 Cetus Wisps, holy crap. Holy crap. Nasco, I do recommend a resource booster and a Smita Kavat. It's just going to take a long time. I'd say that's probably going to take you like in the area of 5 or 6 hours if you do it all at once, so don't do it all at once. Just every time you go out into the plains, or like every day, do like a couple of runs through the wisp farming route. Nope. Yeah. Close enough. Good job. Good job. Hello, greetings from Bulgaria. Yeah, boy. Greetings from the northeastern United States. Although I'm not happy about it, but that's where I'm at. Cool. What's up? Yeah, it must be for Arcanes, I was gonna say. Nasco, not to discourage experimentation, but if this is helpful, I don't believe there are enough good Arcanes for you to need 700 Wisps. I would be very interested if you're going to make ones that are maybe not that good, but I'm rather confident that they're not, that there are only like 3.5 good arcanes that cost wisps. So whatever that means to you. I get for other people too. I'm sure that's helpful for other people. I rest assured you do not need to farm that many wisps. Jacob Camp, they're always near bodies of water, and they're very small. They do show up on loot radar, so if you bring a sentinel with animal instinct, which is, I think you should always have animal instincts, but if you run that, or maybe even add loot detector, or thieves wit, it will make it very easy to see them on your loot radar. If you see something right near a body of water, it's oftentimes a wisp. Come on, don't be difficult, buddy. Let's just be friends. Let's just talk about it. Sit down and talk about it. That's right. There we go. Sit down. Exactly. See, there we go. All you gotta do is be reasonable. It ain't too much to ask. Oh, well, whoops. Where would you rather live? I don't know. Just not in America. Canada. It's not that I do want to live somewhere else. It's that I don't want to live here. There are benefits to living in America, but not enough to outweigh the negatives. Derp. Oop. Look at these healthy lures. Happy, healthy lures. No, Greater Sea, no. Boop. Come to Canada, I know, right? Does fully charging the Lanka or Opticore increase damage? Yes. Yes. A milder version of the same is exactly what I'm looking for. That's exactly the problem. There's... that's literally exactly what I want. I know about these places. I have been looking because I want to leave. Unless RNG trolls you and spawns a Mopper tree. Yeah, you will get trolled a lot as you look for them on the shoreline. Actually, New Zealand wouldn't be a bad option if they had net neutrality, which they don't. But I was thinking of going to New Zealand. Ah. Boop. I even caught the core again. Is the Colossus still a good scythe? Yeah. It's okay. It like never was. It was the charge attack was good like when it came out, and then they nerfed it. Well, it was probably bugged. It did like a slash proc, which is a bit messed up. But yeah, it's not It's not great, but it's not bad. It has the status, so you can always do condition overload stuff, but it's also the only melee weapon with innate corrosive, but it doesn't really have anything else going for it. And scythe stances are one of the only remaining categories of stances that are not good. None of them are really very good. Stalking Fan isn't bad, but it's not very good. And that holds them back. If we, in the future, get better scythe stances, the Caucasus might become, like, really strong. Also, we have Zaw scythes, so it's, like, by comparison, But there's that. Lol, you said good scythe. Well, yeah, kind of. That's kind of a valid thing to laugh at. Yeah. Hey, Xandy, why are Eidolon so cranky? Oh god, no. Read that only at your own discretion. Bam, gotcha. Oh. Stop stepping on me. He's like, stop being under my foot then. Sorry, Eidolon. My bad. You're right to critique me for that. That was inconsiderate of me, I'm sorry. Glad we could have this talk, Eidolon. Now move your foot. There we go. Does internet speed and latency play a role in where you want to live? Yes, and net neutrality. Because if you don't have net neutrality, you don't even know if you're getting the speed you buy. But yes, so for example, here in Burlington, we have a local ISP, a local internet service provider, called Burlington Telecom, and they provide way faster internet than Verizon. They provide gigabit internet, which is super fast, and a lot of the time people don't have the hardware for it, but I do, and it is very fast. You don't actually get a gigabit of speed, because there are parts of the hardware that just can't handle it yet, but I do have, like, my internet speed is like 850 megabytes-ish, which is wicked fast. I can upload, like, my whole video. People talk about, like, having upload times for content creators on YouTube, like, plaguing the industry, and I can upload my videos in, like, seconds. It takes, like, literally, like, a second or two to upload, like, maybe takes, like, 20 seconds if I'm uploading, like, a 10-minute video. It's awesome. It's so helpful. Saves so much time. Let's just use the net. Oh, well, that's sad. You didn't get that much back. Got him. The most tragic Riven I have is a great Anku Riven that still doesn't make the Anku good. Yeah. Poor Anku. That's another one that, like, if we get better scythe stances, the Anku might get a lot better. Specifically, like, forced procs on scythe stances would make the Anku pretty good. Because the Anku's actually surprisingly quite good for, like, what it is, like, when you can get it. I remember when my partner, Anna, started playing, she built the Anku, and while we weren't playing together, and I was like, whoa, that's actually surprisingly good, you know, like for a master rank, you know, whatever it is, weapon. Maybe they'll change it. Are the hit marker sounds new? Yes. I think I turned them off, though. It takes me like 2 hours to upload an 8-minute video, I know, right? Again, this is Burlington, Vermont. I live in Burlington, Vermont. It is insane. Like, the speed is, like, beyond your wildest dreams of speed. Do we have time? Do we have time to do a third one, though? What time are we looking at? No, we don't have time. We don't have time. Hold on. Pixel, please don't beg for stuff in my chat. Maybe my timer is wrong. Yeah, the stats are fine. It's the stances that hurt. But again, like force slash procs on the Anku could be really nice. So let's show. Speaking of sights, why is the Kansas the best one, good looking one in the game? Yeah, it's pretty sweet looking. I wish that they would make more of the scythes like that. Like I want them to be bigger, like more, like, not like a small staff with a blade on the end, you know. Arcane precision. Ooh. Juicy. Okay, so since we have a sec, I do have to go pretty fast, but let's look at how much Quill's Repu that was. So we killed two Terralists and two Gantulists. And let's look at no. 125 intact sentient cores. So let's do all these and a bunch of these. So this is, yeah, way more than we're allowed to get. 14. No, wait. And do 6 of these guys. There we are. So as you can see, you're looking at capping yourself like probably twice over. I'm master rank 21, right? Master rank 22. Looking at capping your daily cap like twice over with one run. And it's similar if you do 3 Terralist, Gantuilist, Hydralist is kind of similar to Terralist, Gantuilist, Gantuilist. So let's look at builds, and then I gotta get out of here. Leave the Yidis. Yeah, Greater Sea, you definitely helped. That went pretty smoothly overall, I think. So again, this Rhino Prime is literally just strength. Deadeye is not actually doing that much here. Again, this is additive with Serration. It's not its own damage multiplier. So this actually only increases your DPS by like 20-ish%. It's not a big deal at all. You don't need this. You can use any aura. It's actually kind of a similar damage bonus, like running this versus adding... what's it called? Growing Power, except that it's hard to proc stuff. Anyway, this is just a big pile of strength. That's basically all this build is. Very, very simple. A little bit of duration for usability. Lanka, super most simple build in the world. Basic mods. That's it. Fits exactly on 5 Forma if everything is fully leveled up. Pretty spicy. Very highly recommend this weapon. There's lots of other cool stuff you can do with the Lanka. It's a great weapon. The Nell, the hitbox on the Terralist is pretty big, so it's easy to keep this buff active. Particularly nice for the ending stages where you need to empty a lot of bullets into the thing, and this can just keep doing it. This gets worse if you don't have the ability to left click really fast. So like on a controller, I could maybe see this being a pain. Without a left clicking macro, I could see that being a little bit more annoying, but it's still not that bad. Hydraulic crosshairs is awesome. Prime T to charge, particularly large gain here. Great weapon overall. Lots of fun stuff for that stuff. And the Atarax was the Atarax. I didn't really use it that much. And there you go. That's it. So let's briefly talk about Aclix Prime. I'd mentioned someone wanted to talk about builds for that. So this is my build that has a Riven. Let's not talk about that. This is like what I'd actually recommend you build. You're looking for corrosive. This weapon has puncture, so you want corrosive. It's got good status. Run those dual stat mods. Otherwise, very simple, basic one build to rule them all. This last slot can be a fair variety of things. Augur Pact is, I think, the biggest damage increase for one slot. It's better than an element. It's better than adding an element. But Hydraulic Crosshairs is good if you're comfortable using it on this weapon. Bladed, whatever it's called, Sharpened Bullets is also not bad on this weapon, especially because you have the magazine to get like a kill and then do a lot of other kills. You know what I mean? That's nice. However, another important piece of tech for this type of weapon is eject magazine. So if you put that in, when you're done with this weapon, when you've emptied out all the shots, you can just stop using it, and then it will reload itself while it's holstered after 5 seconds, which is very nice. So because you're often like doing different things, this is actually pretty strong. And these mods in general, there's a lot of cool things you can do with these. This is a lot better than a reload speed mod in this weapon, so I recommend it. You should totally try it. You can make this build on 5 Forma, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go on out on a limb and say 5 Forma. Should be 5 Forma, and it's pretty good. Again, very similar to Lex Prime. If you have Lex Prime, I don't necessarily recommend you get this, but if you have it and you like it, it also looks badass, so there's that. But I gotta go. So I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for the runs, good runs. I will be here for a stream on Thursday. I stream Monday, Thursday, Saturday on Twitch, which is in the description of this video at around this time, and I stream every Tuesday here at around this time. Thanks for being a good audience. Any questions you have, leave them in the comments of my video, which is coming up in 20 minutes. There'll be a video in 20 minutes, so check back on the channel in like 20 minutes. And this will be a stream archive tomorrow to not drown out that video. I'll see you all later. Thanks for being an awesome audience. I'm sorry I have to go really fast. Goodbye.